Hello everyone, my name is Kid Lee and it's time to take a look at Guardians of the Galaxy. This is an action-adventure game from the developers over at Eidos-Montréal. Here in this video, we're going to take a look at the game. I'm going to show you some general story bits, two different type of combat, sort of the basic combat and then the more advanced combat. Then towards the end, I will give you my thoughts on whether or not this game is worth picking up. Couple things before we get started. One being, we got to see a lot of trailers for this game, and I think the trailers actually did a very poor job of showing what this game is. The trailers came across as boring, not funny, not exciting, and this game is really funny, really exciting, has a great story, and all of those things. So that's one thing to keep in mind, and of course, you'll get to see more once we actually jump into it. I am also playing this on the PC with an Xbox controller. To me, a game like this is designed around a controller. I think mouse and keyboard works just fine, but I think controller, in my opinion, works just a little bit better. But yeah, without further ado, let's jump in and see what this is all about. Welcome to Guardians of the Galaxy. If you know anything about this crew, even from the more recent movies, you know that they have a ship, and it's called the Milano. There are elements of this game that definitely come across as, like, very Mass Effect-like. Again, it's like you have your ship, you're walking around, you're talking with the other Guardians. There are also some, what I would call, light RPG elements. So we'll go into the menu here real quick. So here you have all of the Guardians. You are able to unlock and find more outfits based on the comics. And a lot of the more recent Marvel games have been doing this, you know, the Spider-Man games in particular. You also have some abilities, so as you're doing combat, you're gaining ability points that you can not only put into Peter Quill, but the other Guardians as well. There's also a workbench that works very similar to something like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. You can either go to the workbench on your ship, or maybe you'll find some out in the world, and then from there you can craft some upgrades and unlock some things, which is pretty cool. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into sort of walking around the ship, and then we'll jump into the first mission. And as I mentioned, I'm just going to kind of let the game play, because the Guardians are just non-stop talking to each other, like all the time. This game, for me, I think now holds the record for, like, the best banter in any game that I've ever seen. I think previous to this, it might be something like one of the Dragon Age games. But yeah, let's get going, shall we? Nice look at the ship here.
Did you bring back the docking chips you took from the alignment console?
I'll do it as soon as I reconfigure them.
Ah, there you are, Quill. Tell Groot to stop worrying about getting arrested.
I am Groot.
I'm not overconfident. I'm just the right level of confident.
So, you'll notice that there are dialogue options, and some of these actually do affect the game.
Arrested? For what? Our ship just accidentally slipped into the quarantine zone.
Oops, our navigation malfunctioned.
Oops.
How would we accidentally cross into the Nova Corps force field?
Details.
Nice gizmos, Rocket.
I'm calling them thumpers on account of the noise they make. Assuming we get past the force field and reach your coordinates in one piece, all we gotta do is set them up, and these babies are gonna draw out our monster in no time.
All right, I'll let you get back to it. Sounds like catching that monster will be easier than we thought.
Yeah, the faster we catch it, the faster we get paid.
Who left the fridge open?
This moment of quiet reminds me of the legendary siege of Seknarf 7.
Oh, not again.
It is said that Lady Hellbender held her breath through 10 moons while riding across the stars on the back of a great horned beast. And when she arrived,
she exhaled, and the wind blew away the Shatari.
Indeed, it did.
I am Groot.
If he realized it didn't make no sense, he wouldn't be telling it.
Gamora?
Up here, Peter.
Hey, that's my chair.
Oh. Then why aren't you in it?
I was, strategizing. It's just one thing to get into the zone, but we still gotta catch that monster.
Right.
So did I miss anything?
Other than a ton of suspicious glares from Drax, not really. Now, if you're done strategizing, feel free to grab your seat. We're almost ready to go.
As you can see, the game looks really, really nice. They did a lot of really good work with the facial animations and all that fun stuff.
Once we breach that force field, there's no going back.
Your black market codes are gonna crack that Nova net, right?
Yep. As soon as you enter them in your console.
Alright, let's go.
Okay, here we go. Rocket, Groot, Drax, get in here. We're going in.
We still have a few ticks before the next time window, actually.
The next one?
Nova Corps security grid resets every rotation. We want to be in and out before our code expires, or we'll get stranded.
And if we wait for the next reset, we'll get a full rotation to do this. Nice.
Oh, why's the Novanet still up? Thought we were going in.
Well, it appears the assassin's contacts are as untrustworthy as the betrayer herself.
Oh, please don't tell me Gamora's backdoor codes are bust. We nearly went broke getting them.
Relax, Rocket. We still got a few ticks before the next time window.
The network just reset. You can enter the sequence, Peter. 0451.
That's it? 4 digits?
Suspicious. These security measures are too simplistic for Nova Corps.
It's not that simple. The code only works on this date for this ship.
Oh, I get it. Gamora's codes are more like an...
There. And we're in.
Incredible.
I realized there was so much stuff left after the war.
Restraint wasn't very popular in the Shatari army, especially with Thanos in charge.
It's probably all harmless now. I mean, Nova Corps had 12 years to get rid of the heavy-duty explosives, right?
That's why I like you, Quill. You're so pure. Oh, the wonderful and terrible things I could do with all this tech.
Stay focused, Rodent. We did not come here to scavenge.
Why not? The Milano's weapon systems could use an overhaul. Plus, there's good money in it.
The beast that we seek is far more valuable to the Monster Queen of Seknov 9 than any illegally acquired salvage.
Whoa! Oh, place is really shifty.
I'm not seeing a monster, but that big cylinder up ahead looks like the mining ship Peter's friend said to look for.
Friend.
For a night? And you'll see the monster soon as we place Rocket's monster summoning thingies.
Flark, yeah. Groot, Quill, suit up. Team Rocket's up first.
I still do not understand why I must remain on board with the assassin.
Oh, because you're part of Green Team.
You assigned me to the team before you named it. My skin is not green. It's teal.
Teal? Listen, if we want to trick the monster into going inside that mining rig, we need to place thumpers on both sides. 2 sides, 2 teams.
And 2 clicks to the drop site. Ground's too unstable to land the ship, so you'll need to jump.
That's our cue. Let's go, Groot.
Don't worry! Once the thumpers are placed, we'll meet in the middle, and we'll capture the monster. Together.
Very well.
Thumper 1, done.
Meet you at the rendezvous point.
Gamora, Take care of my baby.
It's a ship, Peter, not a child.
Oh, can you imagine?
What, the pink goo? It's custom nanoresin, designed to keep all this war stuff from floating away.
So the components that I just picked up are part of the crafting system. But again, now that we're like on a planet, you can see again the game looks very, very good.
Nah, it's totally safe. Now, can we please focus less on the toxic goo and more on all this cool war junk it's holding together? I didn't mean toxic. More, don't put it in your mouth toxic.
I'm thinking that big cylinder thing is our rendezvous.
Yeah, that's the mining rig.
So weird seeing it all clustered together like this. Bits and pieces of a war that spanned the entire galaxy held together by pink goo.
Ebrium-based nanoresin.
Whatever. I'm just saying, it's a lot to take in.
I heard Nova Corps once wanted to cover entire planets in NovaNet. You know, I think I do sort of get it. Thousands of worlds fighting for some fleeting greater good. Guess it is kind of poetic. Cheer up. Just because the war was horrible doesn't mean there wasn't good times along the way. Yeah, I am mostly talking about stuff blowing up.
It is strange. I have not encountered any corpses in the wreckage.
Probably got disintegrated when the ships went kaboom. Or the nanoresin absorbed them. Could explain its propagation. Or the closed atmosphere accelerates decomp, and any body is just dust by now.
I will require a vigorous scrubbing when this mission is complete.
I'm okay.
Ha! Almost made yourself a very late war casualty.
Not funny.
You know, I like this. This is fun. The three of us, hanging out, just like when we started this gig, before you-know-who joined us. I do not hate everybody. I tolerate Quill. Quill's a swell guy.
I hope you get that promotion, Rocket.
Are you calling me a bootlicker?
Come on, Rocket. Drax and Gamora are valued additions to the team.
You're only saying that because she's listening.
Is that why your plan has Drax and I taking the ship?
Maybe. Hey, can't a guy want to spend some quality time with his friends?
This is also the kind of game that encourages exploration. You'll find
for
things
any good
out there,
scrap or components.
especially the crafting stuff.
Pretty sure that way's a dead end.
You sure?
Ah, there we go. Path's this way. Come on.
How can you even tell?
Just trust me, all right? Hey, Groot, you think we can find pieces of the Trion Shard in here? You never heard of the Trion Shard? A pyramid of pure evil that corrupts everything it comes in contact with.
How'd you even know the other way was a dead end?
Because, unlike you, I have a very keen sense of direction.
Whoa!
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Game also has a scanning
Scary,
mode with
did
his
I?
visor.
No?
Aw, you were worried. That's cute.
Shut up, both of you.
So you can use the visor to find different things out in the world.
After we sell the monster, I say we head to nowhere. Do some gambling. You can't bluff your way out of a plantain pot. Watch it, Quill!
All good, no worries. Take that, brittle stuff.
Ugh, I hate these ship-eating parasites.
Gross.
Nice splatter. Hey, 50 units says I can clear more of these suckers than you.
As if. Whoa, what the? Rocket, did you do that?
The scoreboard? You like it? Hacked it into your visor cover last time you took a snooze.
You hacked into my stuff?
Considering how many times I fixed the flarkin' thing, it might as well be my stuff.
Optimal thumper placing distance should be just up ahead.
I'm Groot.
I'm thinking right in front, through the giant hole where this ship's cockpit used to be. Well, that's grim.
I'm Groot.
Yeah, try not to think about it. It's better not to wonder what happened to anyone working on these old wrecks. It was a long time ago anyways. Amazing! I should have been recording. Bridge over, Groot. I want to see if he's alive.
I'm Groot.
I don't know, but he's twitching. Flarkin, Scott stain, Quill. You okay down there?
Yep. Yeah, just, thought I saw a shortcut.
Right.
Go ahead without me. I'll catch up.
Okay. There's a crapped out Nova Corps missile bay just on the other side. We'll meet you there.
Yellow and blue missile bay. Got it.
So as you can probably tell,
Crawling through creepy old
the game
ship.
is pretty funny.
No big deal.
Easy there, Quill. Pretty sure nothing's gonna jump out at you. Except maybe me and Groot.
Alright, get rid of these.
Trying to bring the whole place down, Quill?
I shot a thing.
I get it. First tool in the old toolbox.
Ooh, don't die, don't die, don't die. Aw, hey, little guy.
So here's some baseline combat.
Whoa, what the fuck?
You got a dodge roll system, you got lock on with the guns,
Squeal even without the gun.
and as I mentioned, it gets a lot more advanced later on.
Crap! That's cheating! You guys should have seen that. It was this weird blobby thing. Not falling for this again. One last freaky eye thing!
Oh, we got more.
Hey, if Quill dies, we all get a bigger cut.
I heard that! Sorry to burst your
Told us to
bubble!
go. He'll be fine.
Any more? Get out of here.
Yo, Quill, you all right? Do not succumb to the mythical void.
Everything
here,
okay
Quill.
over there?
Quill nearly got himself eaten by a blob or something. Should have heard him squeal.
You must fight with dignity, Peter Quill.
Or at least die with it.
Not funny.
Remember, these thumpers ain't gonna lure squat if they're in the wrong place.
Don't worry, Drax took notes.
They are rich in detail.
Quill, we got a lot riding on your gal pal's mystery monster tip. I hope she's legit.
I'm Groot.
Like you could even tell if she had an honest face.
I'm
Yeah, she did smell like flowers. Too much. Probably the seduced starstruck over there.
Trust in the plan, guys. Everything is checked out so far, right down to the mining ship. We put our thumpers in the right places, and we'll bag that monster.
Quill knows all about putting thumpers in the right places. And getting monsters in the sack, too. Mother of Scott! Whoa!
Are you kidding me?
Son of a smash! That was too close! You okay, Groot? Quill?
We're fine, but we can't jump that.
You don't gotta jump. There's a sturdy support beam on this side. Get Groot to grow a bridge across. Just ask him nice-like. He does it for me all the time.
So this is another one of the subsystems in the game. Eventually you get a lot more of these. But basically all of the different Guardians have different abilities that they can do out of combat. And sometimes you run into a situation where you say, okay, let's try this, or let's try that, or have this Guardian do this or that. So it's pretty cool little system.
All right, Groot. Let's see that cool viney thing.
This one's pretty standard.
One hell of a party trick, big guy.
Gross! More ship eaters. Ah, they're everywhere. All right, back to business. Boom! Right under your nose, Quill.
I got 2 of those. What are you talking about?
Groot, I found a hitch. Can you latch onto it?
Hey, Greenies, you see any blue and gold ships out there, you let us know.
We have seen many such ships.
He means active ones. We haven't talked about what to do if we run into a Nova Corps patrol.
We'll restrain them until we are done here.
Bad idea. Those cops are all connected through their stupid helmets.
If they do spot us, all they have to do is close that barrier and we're stuck.
If you see cops, you get my ship out of here, even if it means leaving us behind.
Flark that!
Trust me, I've dealt with Nova Corps before, even helped them catch real criminals. I can talk my way out.
You think that Milano can outrun a fully powered Nova Centurion?
She's done it before.
Nova Centurions probably had to tow all the scrap to one place.
I am Groot.
Sure, not really their job description, but Nova was spread pretty thin after the war. Hey, kept them off of my tail at least.
So I think at this point, let's go ahead and switch, and I'll show you some more advanced combat.
Big guy, 12 o'clock! Current time is irrelevant. Bear, kill, now!
All right, we're not messing around. Here we go.
Those who resist must be burned.
So I'm going to pause it here for just a second so I can explain it without all the craziness happening. So you only control Peter Quill directly. But now that we have all of the Guardians together in combat, you can actually issue them commands. As I sort of showed you earlier with unlocking more skills, you are able to do that for all the Guardians, and you can actually issue them those commands via essentially hotkeys. The other thing that the combat has is there are finishing maneuvers, what I would call both solo and individual finishing maneuvers. And then there's also a system that I don't know if I'll be able to show you or not, but it's called the Huddle System. And it's something that's very, like, unusual. And it's basically a football huddle. Like, you're in a really intense fight. Maybe you're winning, maybe you're losing, but you build up this bar, and you initiate a huddle sequence. The Guardians all get together. It switches over to, like, a first-person mode. The Guardians will actually say stuff to you, and based on what they say, you have to sort of pick an answer, and that determines whether or not everybody gets a buff or just Peter Quill gets a buff. But let's go ahead and fight this boss. Mini-boss. Here we go. So here's the commands menu that I talked about. It slows down time just a little bit.
Slice and dice!
You don't stand a chance!
Bombs. And I also have some elemental weapons. So that's a finisher, like a solo finisher, not a big one. You see it does like a freeze mode. Oh, he's still alive. So here's an ice gun that I have. Drax. Groot. So Groot's got them all tangled up right now. I'm gonna ice him down. I'm gonna come in here and melee. I'm gonna back off. Gamora.
To the bone!
Rocket. Active reload. Drax. So I'm gonna ice him down. Finisher.
Or a Nova Corps! These ones look caves, too!
It's them or us! Keep shooting!
There's also environmental things you can do, so I can have Drax grab this and throw it at the enemies. That guy fell off the edge. Gamora, get that guy.
Cut to pieces! More goes apart!
Drax.
You struggle in vain!
Hey, Quill!
We got more incoming. The Drax, or Groot just iced all these guys down. And what I mean by iced, I mean restrained. Technically, I'm the one doing the icing. Drax, grab that. I'm gonna move all the way over here. Gamora.
This is how it's done!
But you can see combat can get very hectic. A lot of fun. Rocket, explode. There you go. There's like a mini boss doing these electricity things. Groot.
Thanks, Peter.
Watch the large one's explosives!
Electricity fields coming in. Gamora. So here's a huddle up.
Guys, huddle up! Yo, Muscles! You blind or something? Me and
I
Groot-
see perfectly well, Abomination, and you two are getting in the way of my victory.
Us? You're the one screwing up our fun! Me and Groot stand a better chance of winning this on our own!
So they said some things, there's some words, and now I have to figure out which is the right one.
Whoa, dudes! You guys are totally out of tune with each other. Because you're focusing on the wrong thing. Fun doesn't come from flying solo. It comes from shredding them up in perfect harmony together. Who's with me?
Yes!
So I got it.
You said-
All right.
Get the point!
So I'm just hitting all the buttons here. Drax.
Hey, Drax! Save
Gamora.
some dorks for the rest of us!
All right, he's rooted. Gamora. Drax. This is the bigger guy, I think, that's causing all the trouble.
Gladly!
Bam.
Mine's now!
Blow him up. Finisher. Oh, I missed it. Nope, I got it. Drew's got that guy. Lock him down.
Hey, Drax! Save some dorks for the rest of us!
Group finisher. Nice.
I do not think our fine will be paid today.
You don't say.
Guys, Corell's ship is right there. We just need to...
What? What do we need to do, Quill? A whole bunch of whacked out space cops just tried to vaporize us. And you want to go looking for a rematch? Because your girlfriend might be in trouble?
That's not what I'm doing, and she's not my girlfriend.
Could have fooled me.
Rocket! The only thing that this is about is getting our ship back. We find Corell, and then none of this is our problem anymore.
You're right. It won't be our problem anymore. Because we didn't sign up to be run around halfway across the galaxy by a cop-loving human.
Come on. Seriously, Corell?
Join the Guardian, she said. It'll be good for your mental health, she said.
All right. Listen to Flark up. Groot and I are getting off this Dast Rock. Anyone who'd like a ride can follow us. Everyone else can go to hell.
They're always fighting.
I prefer the rodent's plan.
At least we tried.
All must see. All
You don't
will
think this sort of
believe.
thing is happening at Nova stations everywhere?
That's what they get for being jacked into an inter-system network.
Rocket, come on.
You come on! I told you we should have left.
And we are. I'm on board. Let's find the Milano and...
Intruders reported in the repair bay.
And try not to die in the process.
First sensible thing you said all cycle.
So let's get into my thoughts about this game. This game is good. This game is very good. This is a sleeper hit of this year, and it's going to be a Game of the Year contender for many. If you're a Marvel fan, they completely nailed this game. If you're a Guardians fan, they completely nailed this game. Again, like, as you've seen in this video, they have completely nailed these characters. It's like they're just constantly like at each other, yet they're friendly, but they're fighting. It's kind of like the family thing, I guess. Game looks fantastic. The audio is great. The voice acting, or the voice actors that they got for each character, I personally think absolutely work for what they're trying to do. One thing that does suck about this game, and it's something that I'm not able to show here in this video, is the fact that they actually use like a lot of 80s music. And it's really, really good stuff. So like right out of the movies, during the action sequences, you know, you got this awesome 80s music playing. This game does that exact same thing. But unfortunately, because of copyrights and all that and DMCA, I can't use any of that for when I'm playing this or even making this video. And funny enough, that's actually why it says streaming mode at the top of the screen. So whenever you turn off all the copyrighted music, they have that as a flag, which is kind of weird. I kind of got to the point where I just ignore it or don't even notice it anymore. So other than that one little thing, the game is near perfect for what I'm looking for. And this is coming from someone who, of the like MCU solo films, the first Guardians movie is my favorite movie. It's just, I think it's fantastic in what they did for that movie. So for me, jumping into this game, I was holding this game up to that movie. And to me, it completely works. It completely fits in with what they're trying to do. And I feel like they nailed every aspect of it. The non-stop, like, banter of the characters and just them talking to each other and all this stuff is really, really good. Going back to the inside the Milano stuff that I was talking about before and how I was comparing it to Mass Effect, I actually think this game does it better than Mass Effect. Because, you know, again, Mass Effect or maybe something like, even like Dragon Age where you're at the camp, or Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, you're on the ship. All of the companions are generally like, you know where their spot is, right? You go to their spot, you talk to them, and that's about it. They don't really talk with each other, at least in an open setting, very much. In this game, the companions do not have a defined spot. They are constantly moving around. You look at something like Mass Effect 3, where they start to do that a little bit. It's like, oh, Liar's not in her office. Liar's on the bridge, or, you know, whoever's moving around. This game does that even better as well. So, like, you can sit there and just stand on the Milano, on, like, that main section. And sometimes, like, Rocket will come up to his workbench, be working on the workbench, and then get down and, like, move across the room. And so sometimes they have fixed places, sometimes they don't, and sometimes they're just moving around. And it's just incredibly well done. I think one of the reasons why this game is flying a little bit under the radar is because it's being published by Square, and Square also published the Avengers MMO game, which story-wise is great. But the rest of it, not so much. So I think a lot of people are like, I don't know if I want to try it. But then you look at the Spider-Man games as an example being done by Insomniac and then some of the others. And those games are like 10 out of 10. But they actually nailed this one. They absolutely nailed it. I know I'm repeating myself a little bit, but this game is really, really good. So if you are a fan of action-adventure games, Marvel games, this game would be right up your alley. Maybe you're someone who, you're like, I don't know anything about Guardians. I don't really know much about the MCU. Is this game for me? In that particular case, I would say, 1, are you a sci-fi fan? And then 2, do you like action-adventure, party-based games? If those 2 are a yes, then you'll absolutely love this game. The dialogue is just absolutely hilarious at times. You know, I've been streaming this over on Twitch, and there's times where I'm just like, oh my god, this is like just some of the best dialogue I've ever heard. And it is incredibly well written. And I think with that, guys, I don't know if there's too much more I can say on this. I want to see how many Game of the Year awards this thing wins. Because I think it has a chance to win a lot. It really, really does. But that, ladies and gentlemen, will go ahead and do it for this video. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, share, do all the YouTube things. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
You get all gloomy right now. It don't help.
Because your constant complaining does?
You are complaining about the short one complaining.
We're all complaining. Happy?
Okay, here we go.
I ever mentioned how much I hate rain?
Hellbender's castle isn't even that far.
That is not a castle. It is an impregnable fortress.
So how do we impregnate it?
Ask Peter!
Let's just get closer. We'll figure it out on the way.
There is nothing to figure out. As beast merchants, we will easily gain access to Lady Hellbender.
Good. We've already got a beast. All that's left is the merchant part.
Good thing I put on my official merchant costume.
There is no such thing. Right?
The fact you ain't sure don't bode so good.